And we're back on a turbulent Thursday. I'm Stan Houston. The program is Interesting Ideas. And today we are going to talk about that rather strange title that the program has. So just keep listening and we'll get there. However, I want to do a couple things first. I want to introduce the program in a way that is more inviting to you. Okay? Then we'll try and do that. Also, turbulent Thursday. Here's something we have to deal with. I just saw on the television where a group of men, it seems they were men, all dressed in black, just got together, and about 30 of them ran into a very expensive luxury store in California, and they took around $300,000 in merchandise and ran out and got in their cars and left. And that's the world we live in, and that has to stop. I don't know how we stop it, but I do know that it doesn't have to be that way because it hasn't been that way in the past. So something we've done as Americans and as our society has changed things so that bad people are able to do a lot of more bad things, and we have to stop them. The store might say, well, the insurance will take care of it, so we're not going to interrupt them, and that might be so. But what it means for you and me is the price of everything, including our insurance and including the price of goods that we pay, will continue to go up. So it's not a good idea. Hey, I'm Stan Houston, Interesting Ideas, and we are in the business right now of talking about getting a little bit of a better brain. Yes, indeed, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Stan Houston. The program begins right now. One of the things you find out when you're a creator, and of course, I have to create something every day. My job does not allow me to just do the work. I have to create something. I have to create a podcast. I have to create a video. I have to create a course. I have to create something every day. That's how I make my living. Along with that, I have to do all of the usual stuff that goes into building a business, and sometimes I just have to stop and say, Stan, you're a broadcaster. Please don't make those kind of sloppy diction mistakes again, but I'll be better. But the program, Interesting Ideas, I love that. It is about, as I've said, good ideas will lead to greater insight, which will hopefully lead to greater influence, which will lead to more impact in the marketplace, which will lead to greater income. And greater income is not just money. It means that there are good things in life, like relationships, like perhaps some popularity, some friends, and of course, eventually maybe greater income in the terms of that usually means money. Interesting ideas. However, I was thinking a lot about that because most talk shows are oftentimes about the politics of the world, which you and I have very little control over. And so what? So, interesting ideas for a better life. Starting now. I'd like to have some work on that. Would you help me? Would you help me come up with interesting ideas for living a better life starting now? Okay, those of you who are marketers and salespeople, would you help me come up with ideas, interesting ideas for living what I call the marketing life? That's right, the marketing life, because everything you do and everything you say is how you market you and how you market your goods and services. Interesting ideas for making an impact in your marketplace. How to actually make a difference. And then with a smile, because this is important, interesting ideas that just simply make you more interesting. Interesting ideas for being more interesting. Now, I would be grateful if more and more of you would say, hey, I have an idea for how to have a better life now. Hey, I know I've learned a lot of things. I'm a good salesperson. I'm a good persuader. Yeah, I understand that. That you got to sell yourself before you can sell anything else. The marketing life, I like that. I could give you some good ideas. I'd like to share some of my wisdom. Interesting ideas for making an impact, you know. This isn't a false impact. This isn't just trying to be an influencer like on some TikTok. This is actually doing something, being somebody that actually makes something happen, makes a change that helps people live better in the marketplace. And for being more interesting, as one of my friends said, Stan, I just know a lot of things that'll help you win Trivial Pursuit and to be able to tell good stories and be a better conversationalist. Just to kind of make our world a little better place because we smile, we laugh, and we learn things we didn't know, but they might be helpful and useful. Well, if you are any of those four kinds of people, I would very much like you to kind of say, Stan, from time to time, I'd like to be on your program. I don't want to do a regular podcast right now, but I would like to be a guest and perhaps to tell my friends and family and those in my acquaintance, my industry, some of my clients and customers that, hey, you can listen to me on the Interesting Ideas podcast. If that's something you'd like to do, reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. And our web stage, because it's meant to be not just a site, it's to be where you can actually see me perform. And it is witradio.net, witradio.net. And that's because we are in the business of helping you do what it takes to be a world-class podcaster, what it takes to do a lot of good things. So please reach out to me at that point. Hey, here we go, though. Yes, as I mentioned in a couple of my past programs, I have become somewhat fascinated by the idea as I've listened not only to the audio programs, but started to read the books by Daniel Amen. And that wonderful book I'm discovering right now, which is, in effect, how to grow your brain to grow your body. And that's where I heard, hey, the problem is we are more concerned about our faces, our bellies, and our butts rather than our brain. Yeah. And he teased himself, said, I'm in one of the places where plastic or cosmetic surgery is a multi-million-dollar industry. Yep. Concerned about their faces, their bellies, their butts, rather than their brain. Here's the deal. In effect, at this age and stage, I want to look nice and have a good appearance, but I'm not going to win any appearance or beauty contest. It's nice to know you are not in the game anymore of trying to attract somebody. You're not trying to be so that people will come to you because of your appearance. Now, you want to look nice. You want to look healthy. You want to do everything you can to be well-groomed and as best you can with the aging of our face and body, we try and, take care of that. But my face will go. My belly, something less or more. My butt, it'll be what it is. And I want my brain to be the last to go. And I've lived through, as many of you have, that friend, that family that went through dementia or Alzheimer's. That's not a good thing. That's not a pretty thing. And obviously it happens to many, many, many of us. And very much the ideas of helping to cure Alzheimer's would be a wonderful, wonderful venture. Maybe we'll do that sometime. I'm also very much interested now in how some of the genetic diseases, like cystic fibrosis, like what my own grandson is in the situation. At the age of 7, we've discovered that he has a genetic disease called nitrofibrosis, and it's called NF1, and it's going to affect his life fairly significantly. I would love to be a part of helping to cure or find a way, because right now all you're trying to do, the best you can do, is help people live and cope with the condition. It's theirs for life, but could it be that we'll find some gene therapy that might actually, quote, cure the genetic condition? So those are things I have interest in. But here we go. What I want to do now is, as I said, this new mentor, Daniel Amen, has said, in effect, worry about your brain. Take care of it. It is soft, and it's in a hard skull with sharp edges. He's done a great deal of work, particularly with NFL football players, and he said they have had brain scans, and by the way, all of them have their brains damaged to some degree by their playing life. Now, the point he made in the last program, which I just heard, so I give him full credit. I don't steal. I borrow and share, but I give full attribution, is, in effect, could it be that if we worry about our brain and the kinds of food and things we go through and the kinds of life we live, if we say our primary concern is the preservation and the health of our brain, and perhaps we should have every 3 or 4 years a brain scan. Unfortunately, I don't think insurance covers that, so you have to pay your own $1,200 or $1,500 for that to actually get a look at what's going on. Hey, how do we take better care of our brain? But the point is, the kinds of food and the kinds of lifestyle that are good for your brain will be good for your body. First of all, your brain controls your body, everything about it. And the very things that we know actually that are good for our brain will help us lose weight. We will be healthier. We will lose weight. Our bodies will be firmer, and they will have all of the things that go with what we would usually call good health. And of course, that's a lot of what we eat. It's a lot of what we do. Do we exercise? Do we walk? And then he had a wonderful point the other day, and he said, what you have to do is learn how to control the ants in your brain. This was an interesting statement. He said, every thought you have causes something to happen in the brain. If I'm right now very angry about something, that's affecting my brain. If I'm very happy about something, that's affecting my brain. Everything you think has an effect on your brain, And so that wonderful word came out. We have to learn to think about our thinking because it all affects our brains. Here's what he said, and I'll quit on this, but here's a good exercise. He called it ants. Automatic negative thoughts. Automatic negative thoughts. The things that just come to us, well, I could never do that. Oh, I could never lose that much weight. Oh, there's nothing. You get where I'm going. He said, these come into our hearts, to our minds, our spirits, and our brains from all of the external, outside stimulus we have, but they come automatically. They just come. And unless we learn how to deal and how to be better equipped, these ants will just come. Automatic negative thoughts. So here's my little point for today. I'm trying to do a little bit of an ant check. That's right, an ant check. Just be more aware when I'm having a fearful or an anxiety or an anger or in any way something that is a negative thought. And this doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thought or it's a bad person. It's just this is what happens. This is what life does to us. This is what happens when we watch the news or we watch a television program where somebody does or says something to us. All the things of life are very much, as I oftentimes say, Thursday is oftentimes the turbulence day that happens in our work week. How do we handle when we have a turbulent Thursday so we can have a better Friday? And can we, as I've often said, try and make Friday a day in which you have good thoughts, good ideas. Think of Friday as future day. This is where you take time, you cleaned up the stuff and the mess from the week that you've had. You kind of clear your desk as best as you can. The old, yes, a clear desk, a clean desk. It's good for the brain. And we can talk about that, but I think you get the point. Then I go into Friday with better and more positive thoughts. And I'm trying to reduce the automatic negative thoughts that I've had for the week and have a little more positive thoughts for the weekend and maybe even for the week that is ahead of me. Well, there we go. I'm Stan Houston. This has been Interesting Ideas, and this is on that first category. Interesting ideas for a better life starting now. And I hope that's been what has happened today. I'm Stan Houston. Interesting Ideas. We'll be right back. Here we go. Again, under 20 minutes. That's what we try and do. We're going to have longer conversations, not with me, but with you, with other people. And so we'll have extended conversations from time to time because you'll be very interesting, and we want to give you all the time you need to tell your story, share your wisdom, insight, and truth, to tell things that will help give us some positive thoughts and some good ideas, as well as interesting ideas. So again, reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. And again, give it a try, and eventually we're going to get you on the radio. It's time for you to share what you have, share the goodness and graciousness and the things that can be helpful to us all. That's how we'll deal with those automatic negative thoughts. We'll have people who bring us good things, and knowing that in the end, all will be well. Best and blessings to you. Till next time, bye for now.